Every day you interact with masks, polished, charming, professional masks designed to navigate the complexities of social life. But underneath these carefully constructed facades, there's a raw, often contradictory truth. A truth that, if you truly knew how to look, would reveal the authentic character of anyone you encounter. What if I told you that brilliant minds like the pioneering psychologist Carl Jung gave us the key to seeing past these illusions with just two crucial observations? We live in a world obsessed with appearances, from meticulously curated social media profiles to the carefully chosen words in a job interview. We're constantly presenting an optimized version of ourselves, and we often expect others to do the same. This isn't necessarily deceitful, it's often a fundamental part of human interaction, a social contract that allows us to function together. But it also creates a profound challenge. How do you truly know someone? Think about it. How many times have you been genuinely surprised by someone's true colors? The trusted colleague who betrays your confidence, the charming partner who reveals a darker side, or even your own unexpected reactions under pressure. We often feel like we're constantly trying to decipher a human puzzle, only to find new pieces emerge that don't fit the picture we thought we had. This isn't just about reading people. It's about understanding the deep hidden currents that shape all human behavior. It's about seeing the iceberg beneath the surface, not just its tip. So, how do we cut through the noise? How do we stop being perpetually surprised? In this video, we're not just going to explore abstract psychological theories. We're going to dive into the practical wisdom of Carl Jung and ask, what are these two specific things he urged us to pay attention to? How can we apply this knowledge to understand others more deeply, and perhaps even more importantly, to uncover the authentic character within ourselves? Because understanding this isn't just an intellectual exercise, it's a vital tool for living a more authentic, fulfilling life. Imagine building relationships rooted in genuine understanding, free from the constant fear of disappointment or betrayal. Imagine making better decisions, whether in choosing a partner, a business associate, or even a friend, because you can see beyond the facade. This isn't about judgment. It's about insight. It's about fostering deeper compassion for others and for yourself. It's about navigating the complexities of human nature with clarity and purpose, rather than being constantly caught off guard. Missing this understanding means potentially repeating patterns of misjudgment, fostering superficial connections, and remaining blind to the powerful forces that shape both your world and your inner self. This isn't just psychology. This is a guide to navigating the human condition. The human mind, a labyrinth of conscious intentions and hidden motivations, often presents a carefully curated facade to the world. We all wear masks, not necessarily out of malice, but out of a fundamental human need for social acceptance and protection. Carl Jung, the enigmatic architect of analytical psychology, understood this intimately. He called this mask the persona, a Greek word meaning actor's mask. It's the character we play in public, shaped by societal expectations, professional roles, and our desire to be seen in a certain light. But beyond this persona, Jung posited a deeper, often darker realm, the shadow. This is where the true unvarnished self resides, holding both our hidden potentials and our repressed flaws. Our journey today isn't about judgment. It's about insight. It's about developing a profound understanding that empowers you, not to expose others but to truly see them, and more importantly, to see yourself. For Jung, the true character isn't found in the dazzling light of success or the polished veneer of public presentation, but in the quiet corners, in the unguarded moments, and especially in the face of adversity. And from his vast insights, we can distill two profoundly simple, yet immensely powerful observations that cut through the persona and reveal the authentic core of an individual. Imagine for a moment the esteemed CEO, the charismatic leader, the charming new acquaintance. In settings where they are admired, where their status is affirmed, or where there's a clear advantage to be gained, their persona shines. They are gracious, attentive, perhaps even humble. But what happens when the spotlight shifts, when the audience consists of those who can offer no promotion, no social currency, no discernible benefit? What happens when they interact with a server in a restaurant, a cleaner in their office, a telemarketer, or even a child. This is where the first and perhaps most telling observation comes into play. Pay close attention to how someone treats those from whom they gain absolutely nothing, or those they perceive as having less power or status. Consider David. David was a rising star in his company, known for his articulate presentations, his strategic brilliance, and his seemingly effortless charm. Colleagues admired him, and clients trusted him implicitly. He spoke eloquently about corporate social responsibility and fostering a respectful work environment. But observe David at a different juncture. You might see him snapping impatiently at the barista who slightly mispronounced his name, or dismissing a junior employee's legitimate concern with a curt, almost disdainful wave of his hand. His tone with the parking attendant might carry an edge of condescension, a subtle implication of their subordinate position. Why is this so revealing? Because in these interactions, the protective layer of the persona thins, almost to transparency. There's no incentive for David to maintain his carefully constructed image of graciousness. The social pressure to impress, to conform, or to gain advantage is absent. What emerges then is a glimpse into his authentic, often unexamined self, aspects of his shadow. Jung believed the shadow contains not just our negative traits, but also the primitive, unacknowledged aspects of our personality. When we see someone treating those below them with disrespect, dismissiveness, or even cruelty, we are witnessing the unfiltered manifestation of their unintegrated shadow. It's not a momentary lapse, it's a window into their core values, or lack thereof. This isn't just about common courtesy, it's about a deeper recognition of shared humanity. The psychology of power dynamics. Studies consistently show a correlation between power and empathy. Research published in the Journal of Experimental Psychology suggests that individuals in positions of power tend to struggle more with perspective-taking, a crucial component of empathy. They are less likely to perceive the emotions of others, particularly those they deem lower in status. This isn't an excuse, but an explanation for the mechanism at play. Power can amplify pre-existing tendencies and diminish the internal restraints that normally govern social behavior. Think of it as a social experiment, where the true colors are shown not by what's said, but by what's done when nobody important is watching. A person who is genuinely kind, respectful, and empathetic will exhibit these traits universally, regardless of the other person's title, income, or perceived utility. Their respect isn't conditional, it's intrinsic. Now consider Sarah. Sarah, a mid-level manager, didn't have the dazzling charisma of David, yet her team adored her, and people from all departments sought her advice. You'd observe Sarah taking the time to genuinely thank the cleaning staff, remembering details about their families. She'd listen intently to the intern's suggestions, offering constructive feedback rather than dismissive remarks. When an elderly relative was struggling with technology, Sarah would patiently guide them, never showing frustration. Her kindness wasn't reserved for clients or superiors. It was a consistent thread woven through all her interactions. This reveals a well-integrated self, where her persona aligns with her deeper, authentic values. Her shadow, while undoubtedly present, is not left unchecked to dominate her interactions with the vulnerable. This principle is so fundamental that it transcends culture and time. Ancient philosophers across various traditions spoke of humility and respect for all as cornerstones of true character. It's a timeless truth because it bypasses the carefully constructed edifice of social performance and taps into the raw, unedited script of the human spirit. If someone cannot extend basic dignity to those from whom they stand to gain nothing, how genuine is their respect for anyone else? It often signifies that their positive outward behaviors are merely transactional, a means to an end, rather than an expression of an integrated, ethical self. Life inevitably throws curveballs. Plans unravel, expectations shatter, and the carefully constructed edifice of our lives can sometimes buckle under unforeseen pressure. It is precisely in these moments of vulnerability, when our control is lost, when our competence is questioned, or when our world is unexpectedly upended, that the second profound observation reveals true character. How someone responds when their carefully constructed persona is threatened by crisis, criticism, or unexpected failure. The persona is designed for success, for presentation, for control. It's the armor we wear. But what happens when that armor is dented, or worse, shattered? Let's look at Mark. Mark was the epitome of success. Flawless in his appearance, articulate in his arguments, he exuded an aura of invincibility. His career trajectory was meteoric, his social life vibrant. He seemed to have all the answers. Yet when a major project he championed unexpectedly failed, resulting in significant financial losses for his company, Mark's persona crumbled. He didn't take accountability. Instead, he vehemently blamed his team, the market, and even fabricated excuses about external sabotage. His calm demeanor dissolved into irritable defensiveness, his charm replaced by sharp accusations. He refused to acknowledge any personal missteps, doubling down on his narrative of victimhood, creating a toxic environment for those around him. The Jungian perspective offers a powerful lens here. When faced with failure or crisis, the ego, the center of our conscious awareness and identity, is severely tested. The persona, which is intimately tied to the ego's desire for approval and success, experiences immense strain. In such moments, the repressed contents of the shadow can surge forth. If an individual has spent years repressing their insecurities, their fears of inadequacy, or their capacity for blame, these will manifest when their public image is threatened. The rage, the denial, the frantic search for a scapegoat, these are often screams from an unintegrated shadow, desperately trying to protect a fragile ego that has over-identified with its persona. The resilience factor. True character isn't about avoiding failure, but about how you respond to it. Research in organizational psychology highlights the critical role of resilience and accountability in leadership. A study by the Harvard Business Review on leadership effectiveness found that leaders who demonstrate humility and take responsibility for failures rather than deflecting blame foster greater trust, loyalty, and ultimately better long-term performance within their teams. This isn't just good management, it's a reflection of robust character. Consider Emily. Emily was a dedicated entrepreneur whose innovative startup faced a devastating setback when a crucial investor pulled out, threatening the entire venture. The crisis was immediate and intense. Emily was undoubtedly distressed, even devastated. But her response was markedly different from Mark's. After allowing herself a brief period to process the shock, she didn't lash out. She called her team together, openly acknowledged the severity of the situation, and took full responsibility for certain strategic decisions that, in hindsight, contributed to the vulnerability. She didn't blame the investor, but rather focused on what they could learn and how they could adapt. She rallied her team, proposing alternative strategies and demonstrating a calm resolve that inspired rather than demoralized. Her vulnerability in admitting fault, coupled with her unwavering commitment to finding a solution, revealed a profound inner strength and integrity. Emily's reaction reveals an integrated self. While her persona might have projected confidence, her true character, as revealed in Crisis, showcased humility, resilience, and an authentic commitment to her people and her vision, even when personal failure loomed. She didn't let her ego be consumed by the failure, nor did she let her shadow project the blame onto others. Instead, she embodied the capacity to learn, adapt, and lead with authenticity. This suggests a healthy relationship with her own imperfections and a conscious effort to integrate her shadow, rather than letting it dictate her responses in moments of stress. Let's delve deeper into Jung's concepts, because understanding the why behind these two observations requires grasping the intricate dance between the persona and the shadow. The persona, as we've discussed, is a psychological mask, a carefully constructed public image. It's not inherently negative. In fact, it's essential for social functioning. We need a persona to navigate different social roles: the professional, the parent, the friend. It helps us fit in, achieve goals, and protect our inner, more vulnerable self. Imagine walking into a job interview without any persona. It would be chaotic and likely unsuccessful. The problem arises when we over-identify with our persona, when the mask becomes our reality, and we lose touch with the authentic self beneath. When this happens, The persona becomes less of a tool and more of a prison, dictating our actions and stifling genuine expression. We become what we think others want us to be, rather than who we truly are. The shadow, on the other hand, is everything that the conscious ego rejects and represses. It's the dark twin, the unknown side of our personality. It contains aspects we deem unacceptable, our angers, our jealousies, our selfish desires, but also our undeveloped potentials, our instincts, our creativity. Society often pressures us to conform, to present only our good side. So we push these unacceptable traits into the unconscious, into the shadow. But the shadow doesn't simply disappear. It lurks, waiting for an opportunity to manifest, often in unexpected and destructive ways. Jung famously said, "One does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious." The two observations we've discussed are so potent precisely because they exploit the moments when the persona's grip loosens and the contents of the shadow begin to leak out. When someone treats those from whom they gain nothing with disdain, it's the shadow's contempt, superiority, or insecurity peeking through the cracks of the persona's nice person facade. The persona has no reason to maintain its performance, and the raw, unintegrated impulses emerge. This isn't just about rudeness, it's about a lack of intrinsic value for others, which the persona usually masks with superficial charm or politeness. When someone crumbles into blame and defensiveness during a crisis, it's the shadow's unacknowledged fears of inadequacy, its rage at not being in control, or its profound insecurity bursting forth. The persona, built on a foundation of success and control, cannot hold up under the weight of failure. The individual, having over-identified with their successful persona, experiences the failure as a direct attack on their very identity, triggering a primal defense mechanism from the unintegrated shadow. The paradox here is striking. The very mechanisms we use to protect ourselves, the persona, can become the biggest impediments to true self-knowledge and authentic relationships if we let them consume us. The most insightful moments often come when this carefully constructed illusion is challenged, forcing us to confront what lies beneath. This dynamic reveals not just isolated traits, but the fundamental health and integration of a person's psyche. It shows whether their conscious values align with their unconscious impulses, or if there's a deep chasm between the two. Now, the truly transformative power of these two observations lies not in their application to others, but in their capacity for profound self-reflection. To genuinely understand Carl Jung's wisdom is to turn the mirror onto ourselves. How do we fare under these two revealing conditions? Down to one, how do I treat those from whom I gain nothing? This requires brutal honesty. Do I always thank the server, the cleaner, the delivery person with genuine gratitude, or is it sometimes a perfunctory gesture? How do I react when customer service puts me on hold, or a minor bureaucratic process frustrates me? Do I maintain my composure and empathy, or do I let impatience or a sense of entitlement take over? Am I truly respectful and patient with my elderly relatives, my children, or those struggling even when it's inconvenient or emotionally draining? Do I gossip about subordinates or make dismissive comments about those in less powerful positions when I'm among peers? This introspection allows us to identify moments when our own shadow might be unconsciously influencing our behavior. It's an opportunity to observe where our persona might be a performance rather than an extension of our true self. The goal isn't to be perfect, but to be aware. 2. How do I respond when my persona is threatened by crisis, criticism, or unexpected failure? This is perhaps even more challenging to confront. When a project I led fails, do I immediately search for someone else to blame, or can I honestly assess my own contributions to the outcome? When I receive sharp criticism, even if it feels unfair, do I become defensive, aggressive, or withdrawn? Or can I pause, listen, and extract any kernels of truth that might exist? When a significant personal setback occurs, a job loss, a relationship ending, a health scare, do I succumb to self-pity and despair, or do I demonstrate resilience, adaptability, and a willingness to learn and grow? Do I maintain my integrity and composure under extreme pressure, or do I resort to unethical shortcuts, anger, or manipulation? These questions are not meant to induce guilt, but to illuminate the path toward greater self-awareness and integration. They show us where our ego might be too fragile, where our persona has become too rigid, and where our shadow holds unexamined fears or destructive tendencies. The journey of personal development, according to Jung, is about integrating the shadow, bringing these unconscious aspects into conscious awareness, not to eliminate them, but to understand and channel their energy constructively. Cultivating authenticity means striving for congruence between our inner self and our outer actions. It means consciously choosing to align our behavior with our deepest values, even when there's no immediate reward or when our carefully constructed image is under threat. It's a continuous process of peeling back the layers of the persona and shining a light into the forgotten corners of our shadow. The benefits of this self-awareness are immense. Stronger relationships. When you know yourself, you can form more authentic connections, built on trust rather than pretense. Greater resilience. Understanding your own responses to failure and crisis allows you to develop healthier coping mechanisms. Inner peace. Reducing the gap between your persona and your shadow lessens internal conflict and promotes a sense of wholeness. Ethical living. A conscious understanding of your own biases and destructive impulses allows you to act with greater integrity and compassion. This isn't just about reading people. It's about embarking on your own profound journey of self-discovery. By observing these two simple things in others, you gain a framework for understanding human nature. But by applying them to yourself, you unlock the door to your own authentic character, paving the way for a life lived with greater awareness, integrity, and genuine connection. It's a challenging path, certainly, but one that promises the most rewarding destination, a deeper, more integrated and truly authentic self. So we've journeyed deep into the intricate labyrinth of the human psyche, guided by the profound wisdom of Carl Jung. We began with a deceptively simple question. How do you truly see someone's character? How do you peel back the layers of polite smiles and carefully constructed narratives to glimpse the authentic self beneath? The answer, as we've uncovered, lies not in what people say about themselves, but in the silent, powerful language of their actions, specifically in two crucial contexts. We've seen that the first tells you about their persona, how they treat those from whom they perceive they have nothing to gain or lose. This is where the mask of social convention often shines. Is it with genuine respect and empathy, or with indifference, condescension, or even cruelty? This behavior towards the unnoticed, the invisible, or those perceived as lower on the social hierarchy, be it a waiter, a cleaner, or a subordinate, is a profound indicator. It strips away the pretense of self-interest, revealing the unvarnished values that operate when the spotlight of social advantage is absent. It shows us the bedrock of their ethical framework, independent of reward or recognition. The second critical observation reveals the often hidden facets of their shadow, how they react when their carefully constructed public image, their very persona, is genuinely threatened, challenged, or even shattered. Under pressure, when facing significant failure, harsh criticism, or an unexpected blow to their ego, the carefully maintained facade often cracks. Does integrity prevail, or do we see an explosion of irrational anger, blame, deceit, or a profound retreat into self-pity? This crucible moment forces the inner world to the surface, showing us not just their coping mechanisms, but the raw, unintegrated aspects of their personality that usually remain hidden. It's in these moments of perceived vulnerability or loss of control that the true character, both its strengths and its demons, tends to leak through. Therefore, to truly see someone's character, we must cease to rely solely on their grand pronouncements, their carefully curated social media, or their impressive accolades. We must instead become astute observers of their behavior when their guard is down, their self-interest is unengaged, or their very identity feels under siege. It's not about judging, it's about understanding the complex interplay between the conscious persona and the unconscious shadow. It's about recognizing the struggle for authenticity that defines us all. But here's the most potent revelation. This isn't just a lens for understanding others. It is first and foremost a mirror. How do you treat those from whom you believe you have nothing to gain? How do you react when your ego is bruised, your plans unravel, or your carefully constructed image is challenged? This is the path to true self-awareness, to recognizing your own persona and beginning the arduous yet ultimately liberating work of integrating your shadow. The journey of individuation, of becoming truly whole, begins when we bravely ask ourselves these very same questions. This isn't just about reading people, it's about initiating a deeper, more authentic dialogue with ourselves and the world. It's about building a life not on superficial impressions, but on profound, grounded understanding. What about you? In your own life, what has been the most surprising revelation about someone's true character, observed through moments when their persona dropped or their actions towards the invisible spoke volumes? Share your stories in the comments below. We've peeled back layers today, journeying into the depths of Jungian wisdom to uncover two profound pathways to understanding true character. This isn't just theory, it's a map for navigating the complex terrain of human connection and self-discovery. But the journey doesn't end here. Now it's your turn. I'm eager to hear. What insights did you gain about yourself or someone close to you by applying these two principles? Have you seen these patterns manifest in your own life? Share your reflections, your aha moments, or even your challenges in the comments below. Your experiences enrich this conversation and help us all grow. If this exploration resonated with you, if it sparked a new way of seeing, please give this video a like. It truly helps us bring more vital discussions like this to light. And if you believe someone else could benefit from this crucial understanding, perhaps a friend grappling with a relationship or a colleague seeking deeper self-awareness, share this video with them. Let's collectively foster a world where authenticity is not just sought, but genuinely understood. If today's deep dive into the human psyche has ignited your curiosity, and you're ready to explore more of the hidden forces that shape who we are and how we interact, then I highly recommend checking out our video on the shadow. It's a natural next step in this profound journey of self-awareness, revealing aspects of character that often lie just beneath the surface. Thank you for joining me on this quest for truth. Keep seeking, keep questioning, and above all, keep growing. Until our next revelation, stay curious, stay aware,